Welcome, wrestling fans. Welcome to Curtain Jerkin. As always, I am your host, Jacob Grondy, reporting for WrestlingWithWrestling.com and the Dragon Suplex Podcasting Network. I say reporting, but I'm really just kind of speaking my mind, talking about wrestling for those who are new. For people that listen all the time, thank you for continuously listening. I sold a few shirts this week. I sold a few shirts to my girlfriend's family this week. But you know what? That means that the shirts are moving, guys. If you guys want your Curtain Jerkin baseball tee, hit me up at Twitter, at JG Pro Wrestling. I'll sell it to you there. I'll ship them out as soon as possible. Even though they were my girlfriend's family, still makes me feel good. Still makes me feel like I'm doing this for a purpose. You know, things are moving. People have been hitting me up on Twitter telling me that I've been doing a great job on the podcast and everything, which is awesome to hear and see. But speaking of my girlfriend's family, I actually was in Florida this week. We flew down there Monday morning from Greensboro, North Carolina, got to Naples, Florida, or Fort Myers actually, then drove to Naples, drove a Penske moving truck to Naples, Florida, packed up her grandparents' shit, and then drove to Clearwater. And when you know what's cool about Clearwater as a wrestling fan? Hulk Hogan's beach shop is there, and Hulk Hogan's hangout. He's got a new bar. We were talking to the bartender there. She showed us pictures of Ric Flair in there. I honestly thought I saw Brian Knobbs at one point. But that's neither here nor there. The beach shop next to it is way cooler than the bar because it's full of memorabilia. All kinds of title belts. All kinds of Rocky memorabilia. It's just, I know that he's a controversial figure nowadays, but you know what? Going in there, looking at the boots, looking at the titles. I even bought an Andre the Giant vs. Hulk Hogan WrestleMania 3 mug. There's just cool shit in there, man. So if you ever in Tampa, you know, maybe for WrestleMania weekend coming up, stop by the beach shop, man. I know they're probably going to do a bunch of shit, but that beach shop is pretty fucking cool if you're a wrestling fan. Yeah, you know, it's a lot of Hogan merch, of course, but, you know, there's big posters of Hogan versus Inoki, which I didn't know that happened. You know, the title belt that he had when he was Thunderlips in Rocky. Just really cool shit, man. So if you're ever there, go in there. WrestleMania weekend, you know, you're going to be bouncing around going to the Collective and everything. Go there as well. It's really fucking cool. You know what else is really fucking cool? The Wednesday Night Wars. I'm kind of upset that they're going to be airing on different nights coming up. Rumor has it. But I think it'll help the podcast. It'll help me, you know, break up what I'm watching and everything. But for the time being, it's really fucking cool. It's going to end one of the coolest times in wrestling history, I think. I love the Wednesday Night Wars. I love AEW. I like NXT most of the time. AEW started out really cool with MJF and Pinnacle getting off a private jet. Looked fucking awesome. Blue sky in the background, them standing there. It looked like a goddamn music video. Like, is this the Backstreet Boys? Is this the Four Horsemen? I can't tell. It's Pinnacle. It's a St. Patrick's Day themed, which is pretty cool. I like the holiday themes. You know, WCW used to do, you know, Bash at the Beach. You always have, you know, the turkey gravy fight on Raw and SmackDown. You got the Santa Claus fights on Raw and SmackDown. So anytime you can theme a wrestling show, I'm into it. I love the holidays. Any holiday, sign me up. I want to see what AEW does for Arbor Day. Austin Gunn, not only does he have bars, but he's got an arm sleeve. That was crazy. Moxley and Eddie Kingston cutting a great promo. Wasted my money on the Talking Shop of Mania. That popped me. Kingston, you know, quoting 50 Cent, quoting Tupac, as only Eddie Kingston can do. Kingston comes out, gets beaten up. He can get beaten up better than a lot of guys can do a lot of offense. Archer with a great promo, but then Jake the Snake says, like, where's your bun because you're a weenie? What kind of old man insult is that shit? You could tell Darby Allin wanted to crack up when Jake the Snake said that. It ruined the segment. Sting cut a good promo. Darby Allin came out and cut a good promo. Archer came out to confront them and cut a good promo. And then you just have Jake the Snake literally calling people weenies. I think, like, if you wanted to make a joke of a wrestling promo, you would call someone a weenie. I can see Miz calling someone a weenie to come across as, like, just a turd on Raw and SmackDown. But here this guy is just doing it out of the blue. I guess we are talking about it, so it did do its job. Cage came out and said, "Good job, Sting." The rest of Team Taz is pissed about it. That's interesting for me. John Silver kind of breaking away from the Dark Order more and more and more. I feel like he's snug as fuck in the ring. He's entertained to watch in the ring. He's entertained on these promos. Unfortunately, Colt Cabana more and more in the background every single time. Like, what's up with Colt Cabana? Is he feeling comfortable wrestling during the pandemic? What's up, man? He needs to be in there like Joey Janela. Like, Joey Janela sometimes appears on Dark and then does Game Changer. Why isn't Colt in Game Changer? Why isn't Colt on Limitless or doing these indies? I guess he doesn't want to during the pandemic. But, man, we got to see him on Dark Elevation. We got to see him in AEW in some tag matches. I want to see my Colt Cabana. Griff Garrison in the crowd wearing a Duke shirt. They're not in the tournament. UNC's out of the tournament. ACC didn't really do that well in the tournament this year. But Griff Garrison doesn't give a shit. He's in the crowd repping Duke. So you got to, that popped me being from North Carolina, living in Durham. That popped me. That was cool to see. NXT, great shit as well. But they are kind of adopting the old school format of Raw to have a 20-minute talking segment to kick off the show. I hate that shit. Scarlett, Oni, and Burch really save that segment. Scarlett, I mean, come on. She can save any segment. She comes out there. She kind of seduces and tricks Oni and Burch into wrestling them. Wrestling Finn and Cross in the main event. That was pretty, nice little, like, story arc there. They were kind of... liking Scarlett rubbing their chests and everything. They're like, we're not cowards, we're the champs. And then they kind of did it. Cole cut a great promo. Regal comes out. And here we have it again. Ever since Undisputed Era started, I was always like, Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole hate each other. I couldn't get that out of my mind. I was like, Ring of Honor did a great job drilling that into my brain. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly hate each other. I saw it all the way to the Wrestle Kingdom one year where they wrestled. I saw it where they wrestled in thumbtacks. Their feud was money. And then all of a sudden in NXT, they were teaming up. And that always irked me. But then right when I kind of forgot about that, right when I kind of forgot that they hate each other, they do it again. Now they fucking hate each other again, and I'm loving it. We're the beneficiary of their hate. So cool. Jordan Devlin pops out. Finally, we're going to have the two title belts merged in the Cruiserweight division. I'm wondering why one isn't purple. Wasn't one purple? Like, wouldn't that make sense if one guy had the purple title? Because the lineage of the purple title is in Jordan Devlin. And then the tournament, the black title, is with Phantasma. I can't think of his name. I know his old name is Phantasma. His faction's name is El Hijo del Phantasma. His name... blanking. You guys are yelling, and hopefully you guys are listening enough to just yell into your phones and tell me this guy's name. It's probably gonna, come into my brain later on down in the show. But Jordan Devlin wasn't the only one popping up out of nowhere. It's Mania season. The borders are opened up a little bit. So not only do we get Jordan Devlin, the Irish Ace, but we get Walter. Hide your bare chest. The chop machine is coming to NXT. He's going up against Tommaso Ciampa. That's an amazing, amazing match. Because Tommaso Ciampa, a legend in NXT, kind of just floating around. And here he is going up against Walter. He's going to get bitch slapped. He's going to get chopped. He's going to get thrown around. He's going to be pissed about it. That's what we want to see in our Tommaso. Also, you can do Thatcher versus Walter in the build. And I think that match will be a better match. But also draw eyes to the main match that you're going to push with Tommaso. So I thought that was good. Cops show up and arrest Adam Cole. Alex Gray fighting LA Knight. I'm into LA Knight. I was into him when he was on NWA Power. But what the fuck? You got 205 Live standout here just getting buried on NXT. That's why I don't review that show anymore. I used to review that show for years. I loved that show for years. But then all of a sudden it became the main event of NXT. Like, say what you will, but back in the day, you wouldn't have Buddy Murphy, Cedric Alexander, Mustafa Ali being buried on NXT. If they came to NXT, it would be a special fucking deal. I remember, like, Tony Nese, Arya Daivari, like some of the mid-carders at that time in 205 Live would come to NXT, and it would be a big fucking deal. They would have competitive matches. Here you have the standouts getting crushed by the new guys. What the fuck is going on with this shit? Like, they're like, oh, well, he's a heavyweight. Then why the fuck do you have the Cruiserweight show, man? Like, you know, like, if you're not going to make them at least be in their own little bubble, when they get outside that bubble, you got to put them over a little bit, have some shine a little bit. It was a distraction. Bronson Reed came out and Flex broke LA Knight's jacket. I mean, that was fucking awesome. Anytime someone rips something by flexing, that's fucking cool. Don't get me wrong there. But even though he was distracted, he still picked up the victory. Which, you know, in NXT world, in NXT logic, if someone comes out and distracts you, you are frozen in time. You completely forget everything you're doing. But here, LA Knight doesn't forget it. So I guess that's good for LA Knight, but bad for the entire Cruiserweight division. It bummed me out. But that's just kind of my breakdown of the two shows. As you guys know, as always, I rank every single Wednesday Night War show from worst to first. And this episode is no different. Number 12 is the match that I just ranted about, LA Knight versus Alex Gray. Number 11, Jade versus Danny Jordan. Good to see Danny Jordan. We were just talking about NWA Power. NWA is back this weekend. We're going to be talking about that. We're not going to be talking about Fastlane next week. And it's cool to see LA Knight and Danny Jordan, even though Danny Jordan picking up L's left and right in AEW. Number 10, Breezango versus Phantasma. Number 9, Phoenix and Angelico. I thought that match was going to be a little better than it was. Angelico with the ground technician aspect of his game is kind of cool, but I wish he was just like a Jeff Hardy jumping in the air, jumping on people and shit. Number 8, Loomis versus Theory. This was great shit. I'm surprised it's at 8. These guys have comedic timing. A lot of people don't like Dexter Loomis. I'm into his character. Austin Theory, controversial as well, but you got to say, like, he's you know, his look is money, and he's been delivering these lines, you know, sorry to call them lines, but he's been doing this angle very well. I'm sure Johnny Gargano's helping him a lot backstage, and he's also helping him a lot in front of the camera. He's killing it too. Number 7, Yomasa versus Wolf. Number 6, Moxley and Kingston versus the Good Brothers. The promos were better than the match. They should have just cut promos on each other and just built to some match a few weeks down the line. They kind of jumped the gun for this match, especially since Moxley had just gotten, you know, kind of blown up or whatever the hell they're saying. He injured his shoulder, but the explosion didn't happen. Who the hell knows? Number 5, Dakota Kai versus Zoe Starks. This was a great match. It would have been the best women's match on Wednesday nights usually. But of course, we got something that we're going to talk about coming up here. Number 4, the 10-man tag for AEW. You got to love these big multi-man tag matches. I love a clusterfuck. I like, I have a short attention span. So if someone's going to get kicked, that's awesome. If someone's going to jump on somebody, that's awesome. But if someone gets kicked and then someone else gets jumped on back to back, you got my attention, man. I'm watching that shit more. So that's what these 10-man tags do. I know they don't really do much to push storylines a lot of the time, and there's a lot of shit to watch. Hard to review, fun to watch. But number 3, Lorcan and Birch versus Finn and Cross. This match was awesome, good match, and it was really good, the shot they did where Finn drop-kicked Birch. Birch fell on Scarlett. Scarlett obviously faking hurt. Finn looking like he's helping Scarlett. And then in the background, you see Cross slowly see it, grab Finn, get pissed. And then as he grabs Finn, you see Scarlett just crack a little smile, realizing that she did what she had to do. She bullshitted Finn to piss off Cross, and she's getting her way. That was Beautiful, beautifully done. That's why it's at number 3. Number 2, Cody and Penta, the curtain jerker of AEW Dynamite. These guys can kill it. It's kind of like Pentagon Jr. A lot of people get lost in AEW roster, and I feel like Pentagon Jr. was a standout in the indies to the point where he was a breakout star to get signed to AEW, and he really hasn't done much. People are saying it's because he only speaks Spanish, but now they've taken care of that, and he's killing it in AEW. Cody's killing it as always, but they did not kill it as much as Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. Holy shit. This was the match. This was the feeling we were all looking for in the exploding barbed wire death match. This was what we fucking actually wanted. Not necessarily these exact movements and motions, but we wanted this fucking feeling. We wanted to be like, what are we watching? This is crazy. I cannot believe it. Rebel taking the table spot, rolling in the thumbtacks. Britt Baker taking the thumbtacks and shaking. I mark out every time I see a thumbtack and a shake. When you, like, Randy Orton did it great when he wrestled Cactus Jack. Ricky Starks did it great whenever Darby Allin hit him with the coffin drop. And now we have Britt Baker doing it really good. Britt Baker bleeding all over the place into her eyes. Like, I'm thinking, like, if someone's flipping through the channels, they're at least staying on this match, even if they don't like wrestling, because they've never seen anything like this before. Both ladies bleeding like crazy. Thunder Rosa puts Britt Baker through a table and beats Thunder Rosa. Beats Britt Baker. I'm getting tangled up and twisted in my words because my thoughts are racing in my brain thinking about how awesome this match is. I don't give a fuck if you've ever seen a wrestling show before. Seek this match out and watch it. It is insane. It is insane. I remember when I was a kid, I went to FYE. I'm talking about FYE twice in a week. I used to go because they would have FMW tapes. They would have Wings tapes. They would have, like old ECW tapes, and you could buy them, or DVDs and tapes. They were VHSs, guys. I'm that old. The VHSs weren't marquee. They were definitely in the sales bin, but they were still in stores at the mall when I was a kid. So, I bought these FMW tapes, and on these tapes, there were these women's matches that were exactly like this. They were crazy. They were hard-hitting. They were nuts. Women bleeding. I always thought that this would never happen in America. And then you saw Gail Kim and Awesome Kong, and you're like, oh, shit, I guess those were amazing matches. My favorite feud in women's wrestling history. But I was like, they're never going to cross that line. And here they crossed that line. They fucking beat the shit out of each other with the line, and Thunder Rosa got the victory. Awesome shit here. I love that fucking match. People are saying match of the year. It's definitely in top 5. Shingo versus Tanahashi was my match of the year, but number 2 is probably Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker. Thunder Rosa is like my favorite wrestler right now. I would say it's between her and Pac. She's kills it every time. I know it was an unsanctioned match, but they need to push her to the moon. They need to give her that fucking title. She doesn't have the NWA title. She's going to be on NWA, but she doesn't have the NWA title. I don't know who she's signed to, but she needs the fucking gold, man.